Hi, everybody. Welcome to Soapbox. My name is Mauro Di Pasquale, Executive Director here at WCCA TV and your host of this program. I know you have hundreds of channels to turn to, and you're watching this one today, so we certainly appreciate that. We appreciate your time, your viewership, and your support for WCCA TV. We're nonprofit public access television. We're a charitable 501c3 organization, and our mission is to provide you, to empower you with television. And what do I mean by that? Well, this is a place where you can produce your very own television show. We provide the training. We provide the tools, the cameras, the editing equipment, the studios, the lighting, the microphones, everything you need to produce your own TV show or documentary or small video film. And we have youth programs after school. We have internship programs and all kinds of classes that go on here all throughout the year. And we want you to participate. And that's why when you watch this channel, you see all different languages, all different topics. No matter what it is, it reflects, the programming reflects the interest of you, the people out there, because you're actually doing it. So we want you to participate. It's a place, WCCA TV 13 is a place where you can learn, create, and connect. And we're not supported by tax dollars. We're supported by law. By funding that comes through the cable license. And what that means is the cable license is required to send funding for this in exchange of rights away, and it's based on their gross annual revenues. So their profit line margin is what pays to support this, a little percentage of it, a very tiny percentage of it. So we appreciate that. We appreciate your support, and we thank you for watching. This station's been here since 1986, and starting out in a humble basement on 108 Grove Street. And I'm amazed because I've been here for at least 24 years, 25 years, and the amount of talent in this city and the stories that people have to tell are amazing. And, you know, that's really kind of the heart of what we do in public television, public access television, is telling the stories. And today I'm honored to have an author he's a local author, Bob Pitchman. He's author of The Boy From Worcester, Survival. This is the book, and it's published by Ex Libris here locally. And Robert was born in Worcester, and he was born in a poor neighborhood, poor parents who were divorced. And he's here to share a little bit of his story, tell us about his book. On the book there you can see, is that a flooded? It's a flooded street right under, it looks like Cambridge Street, Providence and Worcester Railroad. Is that what that is?
Canterbury.
Canterbury Street. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Robert, I started to read this, and I have to say I apologize because I haven't had, it's a true story.
Oh, yes.
It's your life growing up here, right?
Yes, sir.
And I haven't had a full chance to look at this, but I started reading it, and I found that as I was reading it, I almost couldn't stop.
That's good to hear.
And can I ask you, how old are you?
I'm 66 right now.
You're 66, so you're not much older than me, because a lot of the references I was going, yeah, I remember that. I remember tabletop pies and the smell of the pies and everything. Yeah. Wasn't that amazing when you go down there and there was a real sense of neighborhoods in those days. They had their little districts.
Right. I lived on Lead Street. It ain't there no more. The highway took it.
Yeah.
But even from Lead Street, right down from Lead Street was Water Street. At the time, we called it Jewtown. I don't know why we called it.
Yeah, we did, even when I was a kid, yeah.
And when they baked their goods at night, it was like 3 in the morning or so, that stuff goes right through the neighborhood. And, you get up hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember, my dad waking us up, and Sundays you can go to Jewtown and buy pastries and breads because, their religion, when all the Christians were closed on Sundays, they were open.
Right.
so I mean, it was nice. It was really, I thought it was kind of cool, But then the highway came in, and that was the end of that. It sort of put an end to a few different neighborhoods. Even the blacks up on Summer Street got cut off. And
they took a lot out, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big expense to put that 290 in there. They did what they did, I guess, for whatever reason. I'm looking at this cover, but tell me something. Let's talk a little bit about your background. You're born from poor family.
Right.
Your parents were married or divorced?
They were married, but they got a divorce. My mother was Lithuanian. My father was German. I don't remember my father leaving us, but I know he left us. And I was pretty much on my own, really, because my mother snapped, and they put her in an institution for about 4 months. And my father had to take care of me then, but just for that 4 months. But when my mother come home, I'm about maybe 7 years old, I can remember, and I pretty much went out anytime I wanted to at night. I mean, my mother never cared, you know. I mean, she was always like in a fog, and the state didn't even see that. I don't know why. They should have put a stop to it right away and say, well, he shouldn't be living here at all. But it worked out that way.
Did they have programs like that day? You're talking what, about 1960s, early?
No.
59?
56.
56, yeah.
Because I went through the tornado of 56, was it?
Yeah,
No,
up in Greendale.
It was right here in Worcester.
Yeah, in the Greendale area, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it came right through Worcester.
Yeah.
But,
was it your story? I think it was you that read about. Didn't you have a neighbor that took you guys in when it was coming?
Yes, downstairs.
Yeah.
They were, And,
can you tell that story? Because it was amazing. And the gentleman who kissed his wife and he went outside.
That was unbelievable. I mean, I remember that. That's why it stuck in my... I remember parts of the things that happened there when I was playing outside and my mother wanted me to come in the house, and I didn't want to come in the house. Yeah. But they were telling me it's going to rain and all this and that. And, hey, rain. I'm a kid. I want to play in the puddles. Yeah. But she got me in. As we were going in, the first floor, the woman that lived on the first floor, she invited us in there because she knew that my father wasn't there and, didn't want to be alone. She said, come in, Ann, And so we went in there. We had coffee. She had coffee. I remember all of a sudden it started getting dark out. And the wind was picking up, and things were flying around outside. I'm looking out the window, and I'm seeing things getting tossed around. And one scary thing, not then, but now that I think about it, is looking across to the next doors. The kid that lived next door, he wasn't too far. I mean, you can see his house and everything, and the window. Mm-hmm. He was standing in the window looking at me, and I was looking at him, and he just backs off into the dark, because all the lights went out too. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was really dark. And looking outside down into we had a big oak tree in the yard. And this is a funny thing that happened. When that oak tree tipped over, the roots started popping up. And it was like plumes of smoke. It looked like smoke. Mm-hmm. I thought there were snakes when I was a kid. I really did. I thought there were snakes. Scared me. And like you're saying, that guy, after all the lights went out, we had no communication at all. We were listening to the radio. Mm-hmm. Now we were like hunkered down in a corner somewhere, and I believe it was the living room or dining room.
Yeah. Did you guys know it was a tornado coming at that point?
They did probably, but I don't know what a tornado was. Yeah. And I could tell they were scared, and I was getting scared watching them being scared. Yeah. And next thing you know, he starts praying out loud for no reason. And back then I had no religion, so I didn't know what that was about. But I do remember him saying something like he's got to get out and get help. And thinking back now, where would he go? Yeah, yeah. And that was the last time I saw him when he left. He got up, and I remember his wife grabbing him by the pants leg or something, saying, "Don't go." Yeah. And he turned to her and kissed her on the forehead gently and walked out the door, and that was the last time I saw him.
Jeez.
And after that, it got silent, very silent. And you see people outside walking around. I seen a woman with pictures or belongings or whatever she had in her arms, and everybody's looking for their loved ones. And
yeah, jeez, it was devastation, like a war almost, huh?
It was scary.
Yeah.
Cars were tipped over. And Ledge Street School had a slate roof. And I still remember the slates came off that roof. I didn't see them come off, but after the storm came through, these pieces of slate were stuck in trees, houses. Yeah. Luckily, people weren't getting hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they go in about, and I try to pull one out. I couldn't. Well, maybe you could. You know, if you know an old. I mean, an adult.
Yeah.
An adult could, but I don't think I could. But a lot of windows broke. It was just deficit. You know. It was,
yeah. That must have. Now, what kind of impact did that leave on you? Did you get a sense of like how vulnerable life could be? Or were you too young to?
Too young. It probably passed through my head like it was nothing. You know. It was,
yeah.
After a while, you forget things when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
But then, going through therapy, my psychologist brought all this up.
Yeah.
And that's when it was down south, where I lived in Greenville, South Carolina. My psychologist down there said, after telling a few of these little stories here and there, he says, "You got a gold mine here. You should be writing a book."
Is that what made you decide to start writing?
Yeah, so I wrote it, and I have a friend up here. Her name's Terry. She works for City Hall, and I was sending her some of the book, you know, and she corrected it and sent it back.
Yeah.
Because my spelling isn't that hot, you know. I mean, I'm not an educated guy. I got streetwise. That's all I am. Is, you know, I mean, I know what's going on in life. You can't pull the wool over my eyes, certain things, but I mean, hand me a book and say read it. I could read it, but spelling is not
grammatical stuff.
Yeah. It's,
So you went to Ledge Street School. That was an elementary school. And what did you get your way to high school at all, or junior high or anything like that?
No, I was put in an orphanage.
Yeah.
After breaking into that school.
Yeah.
And there was about 7 of us that tore that school apart, and I was the only one put away because they said I was a problem child. I never went to school. I kept on skipping school. I had to skip school. I didn't like school. I didn't like authority. I didn't like getting what they call the rat hand.
You know, they used to call it the rat hand too, but was it red or rat? Because
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because I got it once.
Did you?
And
I got it more than once.
The teacher, Miss Ratcliffe, I think was her name, was the principal. She hit you on the hand with like a stick or something, like a letter opener.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I remember being real scared. Like everybody would go, "You're gonna get the rat hand. You're gonna get the rat hand." You go in and the teacher would yell at you, and then just throw you and go, "That's it."
Well, I wish I was more like that for me, but it was they did it until you started crying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had your teacher was the real deal then.
Oh,
It must have been. It must have been.
Like I said, I was put in an orphanage, Nazareth, out in Leicester.
Oh yeah.
And see, I was torn. They tore me away from my mother, who I loved very much, and they put me in this orphanage. And then I stayed there for a while, a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. And a lot of things happened there too. That's in the book. And then I get used to these kids here, and they tear me away from that. You know. Now I'm leaving my friends now, and they put me in a strange home, a foster home.
A foster home.
Yeah, and they back then, I don't know how they are now. I hear they're a lot better, but the 3 foster homes I was in, it was pure chaos. It was, I was like a slave. Yeah. And they were getting paid by the state to keep me there, which was really weird.
That stuff probably still goes on today.
Yeah.
They're in it for the money, right?
Oh yeah.
Was that in Worcester? Were you in a
Marlborough.
foster home in Marlborough?
Marlborough, and then Northborough, I believe it was.
So they really pushed you out, away from, your mom. And other people you might know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, how did you deal with all that? Is that what was?
It was tough because I was on. Like I said, I was on my own. Really, nobody was. These foster parents didn't love me. Nobody cared. I mean, they just cared about the money coming in, and I had to fight. I mean, I had to get my emotions. A lot of hatred was going through me at that time. A lot of hatred, but then I realized that I can't hate the world. It's because of a couple individuals, and then finally, a kid that was in the orphanage with me ended up in the same foster home with me, which wasn't supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. They don't put us together. And we broke out of there. We came back we took a bus, came back to Worcester.
So you took off from the foster home?
Yeah, and I ran away 2 or 3 times, and finally I begged my mother to get, to go down and sign something to get me back home. And she finally went down there. I was a runaway from the state at the time.
Yeah.
So she went down there, and they practically said to her, "You can have him. He's a problem. We can't even take care of him. So if you want him back, you can have him." So
they gave you back to your mom?
Right. And she was still in the same state. Got away with a lot of stuff with my mother. I mean, drugs. I was heavy into drugs for a while.
Yeah.
Not the heroin as much as marijuana. Drinking, a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know what was going on in the house. I mean, I had friends in and out of my house all the time.
Yeah. So during the whole, you mentioned earlier, you decided, after years you go by, you talk to a psychologist and he recommends to write a book, and you were going to call it The Boy from Worcester, The Summer of Love, or something like that?
No, that's the second book.
Oh, your second one?
We're doing a second one, yeah. We decided to do a second one. And the whole main thing was, a lot of people criticized me on this. Friends criticized me, said, it's not going to happen. So that's what really encouraged me to write it.
Yeah.
And now it's out. And now I can't say you didn't do it.
Right.
I mean, at least I did something in my life. That's the thing. I never done nothing in my life. Nothing.
This is remarkable. Are you kidding me? To write a book? This is a novel. I mean, and you wrote it. And officially, you went to the 6th grade, right? And not much further.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Cause
I think that's fantastic for you.
Because the orphanage, like I say, the orphanage when I was in school there, it was like one big classroom. And this one nun was taking care of kids younger than me and older than me. So it's... You don't know
it was
what,
a mixed group.
I didn't know what grade I was in. So
yeah. That might have been good or bad, though, right? Because you had to deal. You probably learned more advanced stuff or more, while you were there.
Well,
you probably spent a lot of your time controlling the kids, though, right?
Yeah. Yes. I became an altar boy there.
Yeah.
That didn't last long.
Yeah.
I didn't understand religion.
Yeah,
I really didn't understand it.
Yeah, because you mentioned now. Were your parents born in this country? Were they immigrants, or were they born here?
My grandfather was from I think Lithuania.
Yeah.
My father's father was from Germany. My mother and father were born here.
Yeah.
My father, after a period of time, I met my father again. My mother told me where to find him, at a certain bar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's right, and I used to go down there and see him all the time and try to get close to him, but he was kind of standoffish.
Yeah.
He just, he had his own little world.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted me in it. So.
Yeah. What kind of work were your parents? Were they involved in any particular? Were they manufacturing kind of stuff?
Well, my mother was a college graduate, and she was
really.
She was teaching college.
Wow.
And someone told me once. I think my uncle told me this, or my aunt, one of them, told me that that's where they think she snapped, because she was really, intelligent, and she just snapped once, just like that. But my father, he was a painter most of his life. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're familiar with Quality Fish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We painted that place hundreds of times. He used to ask me if I want to work. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only connection me and him ever had.
Yeah.
Outside of the drinking, I mean.
Yeah. So you were a teenager in the sort of like the mid-'60s, right?
Yeah.
So that's just when all this stuff started going.
I was a hippie.
That's when the world was really changing, and there was a lot of easier access to drugs and.
And we're in a gang. I was in a gang called the Islanders, right here at Crompton Park.
Yeah.
And we weren't a gang like today. Today's gangs are far different from us.
Yeah.
I mean, we carried blades on us once in a while, but it was just to show the girls, that we were tough. Yeah. We weren't tough.
Yeah.
We didn't want to hurt anybody. No, as a matter of fact, Providence Street had a gang. Four Corners, Grafton Street.
Right.
They all came down to Crompton Park. WRC used to have concerts down there.
Yeah.
And everybody got along with everybody. If we got into a fight, it was a fist fight. And it was over, and we were drinking beers later, and it was all forgotten.
Yeah.
Today,
usually it was over a girl or something.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Just to show, put your chest out and show the girls what you can do, right?
The Omega. I gotta do that Omega thing. Right?
Yeah. So the cover here, why the Canterbury flood? Is there any reason behind that?
Because of the island, I guess. That was Terry's idea. And we had a lot of pictures, and I looked them over, and I said, well, that's kind of predicts the neighborhood, but I think we should have had the picture of Crown Park. She has a picture of Crown Park flooded, too.
Oh, is that right?
So it's...
Yeah.
And I don't know, we called it the island because at the time we were all smoking pot. We were on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And it started raining, and we were too dumb enough, they're saying, get out of the rain.
Yeah.
And we noticed all around the park it was flooded. It wasn't deep, it was like just a little bit of water, but somebody said we're on an island, and it stuck from there.
Yeah.
Someone said, now you're something about the Islanders, and then we were just called that after that.
Yeah.
And either that or it would have been Green Island, but it's not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's in that area, though, isn't it? They call it Green Island today.
Yes, it
right?
is. Yeah, it still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
So why is it important for you to share your story?
Well, there's a lot of things in there that you shouldn't be doing that I've done.
Yeah. Like tearing up a school. You got put away because you want to tell the viewers why they put you away in the first place to the orphanage?
Well, we broke into the school. I didn't break into it. I was invited into it.
Yeah.
I was cutting through the schoolyard, and one of my friends said, hey, I said, what are you doing? He says, we're going to tear the school apart. We won't have to go to school Monday. Fine, that's all right with me.
Yeah.
So went in there. We ripped the place apart. I remember going down to a projection room, if anybody knows what projectors are.
Yeah.
We tipped that over. We took all the reels, rolled them through the corridors, all ribbons of all
Film
around.
and stuff, yeah.
Ripped up the paper, in the everything we can do. The supply, we broke into the supply rooms.
Yeah.
Ripped up everything. I took a hammer to blackboards. We had inkwells then. We urinated in them. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. There was other things, but I don't know if you wanted me to tell you that.
Yeah, I know. Somebody defecated in a drawer or something.
Yeah. And the teacher the next morning, I was in the classroom, and she didn't look as she opened the drawer, put her hand down, and our eyes met, and right away she knew.
So she didn't know what she was getting her hands into, right?
No.
But then she figured it out.
She excused herself to leave to go to the bathroom, I think, to wash her hand. But after that, she said, Mr. Pitchman, come with me. I can still remember that, and I remember getting real scared.
And you weren't even the one that did it, right?
No, not that, but I was involved.
Yeah.
We went down to the principal's office, and two men were there in suits. After a while, I don't know how long it took, but they questioned me, and finally one of them says, look, your fingerprints are all over the school, so we know you did it. And I confessed. Yeah. But my fingerprints should be all over the school. I go to that school.
Yeah, so
and
you don't know these things. Well, no kid would really put that together, yeah.
But I never gave up anybody else. By the end of the day,
you didn't snitch, right?
No, everybody else at the end of the day gave each other up.
They did.
Because they heard I got caught, and they figured, oh, well.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, we went to court, and everybody got a fine. And the judge says that I was a problem child, and that was it, right into the orphanage. So
with all your experiences in your lifetime growing up here in the city, what do you feel about Worcester? Do you love Worcester?
I love Worcester, yes I do, but the changes are very, very dramatic for me because I've been gone 20 years. Yeah. You come back and you're looking for streets that are not there anymore. Right. All my friends they're all dead. Well, not all of them. Matter of fact, I met 3 or 4 of them recently. I don't know if you're familiar with Widoff's Bakery. Yeah, yeah. I know the owner. Yeah. He was one of my buddies. Yeah. And he's got 2 of my friends working for him. Yeah. That's good. They're still alive. Yeah. But most of them, they drank heavy. or did drugs
Yeah.
are gone now. So
Yeah. Yeah, that could be devastating.
and that's a lesson to be learned. The drugs. I mean, today we didn't have the drugs they had today.
No, they're a lot more potent today. People don't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, marijuana to me, it really wasn't a drug. It was a recreational thing. I'd rather smoke than drink.
Yeah.
Really, because when you drink and you fall all over the place and you throw up, and
Yeah.
when you're a kid you don't know how to handle it anyway.
Yeah, right.
So it's
Yeah. Do you ever think back though and say, gee, I'm lucky I'm alive with all this,
66 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy, my doctor said.
Yeah.
The only thing I got is a esophagus problem. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm losing hair.
Well,
But that's-
we all do that a little bit, it happens.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So
And are you living in the area now? Are you living
I'm living in Auburn at a
Yeah.
friend's house.
Yeah.
He let me stay there free.
Yeah.
Nothing, he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking with Robert Pitchman. He's the author of Boy From Worcester, Survival. It's published by Ex Libris. Where can people get this book?
Exlibris.com.
So Ex Libris, it's Xlibris. I'll say it one more time, so write it down. Got your pencil? Okay. Xlibris.com. And look up Robert C. Pitchman, or the title, The Boy From Worcester, Survival. It's really is captivating in reading. And I started reading it. I want to finish it myself. There's some interesting photographs in this as well. How did you get a hold of all these pictures? Did you have to go to the museum or?
No, I had him.
Oh, you had them?
Yeah, that's Terry there.
Yep.
That's the girl I used to go out with.
Oh, okay.
It was years ago. That was.
She helped you with the book at some level, yeah.
Yeah, without her, I'll tell you, without her, I don't think that book would have even made it.
It's amazing you have someone in your life that just gets you over that edge, And well, you're going to write another book. We're running out of time, so yeah, you're writing another book,
Yes, sir.
and it's going to be called
Probably
working
the
title.
Boy From Worcester, The Summer of Love.
So,
It's about 1969.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For sharing
Thank
your
you.
time with us, and I'm looking forward to reading this too, The Boy From Worcester. Folks, look it up. It's going to be great reading for the summer. Robert Pitchman, I want to say thank you, and thank you for watching. I'm Mauro Di Pasquale. Until next time, look forward to seeing you on TV 13, the People's Channel.